My fiancé and my own brother had hated me for a decade, convinced I'd bullied the girl they loved. On my engagement day, they exposed my crimes to the world through live broadcast. She's just a bully who tormented classmates. The camera zoomed in on Lily's tearful smile. I've already forgiven her. Looking back, the hardest part is behind me. Overnight, she became an internet sensation while I became public enemy #1. When extremist fans threw acid at me, I dragged Lily to hell with me in my final moments. I blinked awake to find 17-year-old Lily standing by the sink, deliberately pouring water over her head. Figured out how to apologize yet, Lucy? She taunted, droplets tracing her mock innocent expression. Memories flooded back. This was the exact scene that started everything. Last life. I'd frozen in shock. This time, I lunged forward and yanked her hair with manic strength. Let me show you what real bullying looks like. Her screams echoed as I shoved her face into the toilet bowl. Since you love playing victim with water. I laughed hysterically. Let's make it authentic. Lily thrashed like an electrocuted eel, her protests gurgling in filthy water. Lucy. Let me go, glug, ugh. Wash that dirty mouth before tattling. I roared. Rebirth? Hallucination? Didn't matter. After dying covered in chemical burns only to stab my tormentor with a cake knife in our final embrace, I'd embrace madness gladly. In my previous life, I died at my proudest moment accepting my third Best Actress award while wearing couture beside John at our televised engagement gala. Then he declared, I'll never marry someone who bullied classmates in high school. As the world watched stunned, Lily emerged from the crowd with those practice tears. Remember me, Lucy? She'd whispered. The girl you tortured for 10 years? The Wilson family's reputation crumbled that night. My brother Victor stood protectively behind Lily, his eyes colder than the sulfuric acid that later melted my skin. You probably wouldn't guess that one day I'd stand as your equal. But it's fine, I don't blame you anymore. Looking back, the light boat has long sailed past endless mountains. The live broadcast went viral instantly, making her an overnight sensation. Before I could react, my brother Victor and John's prearranged swarm of reporters rushed in, surrounding me. Miss Lucy, is it true you still bully newcomers on set? Sources say you recently visited a gynecologist. Was it due to an STD from reckless behavior? A deranged fan lunged from the crowd, hurling sulfuric acid at my face. Die. You slut. The liquid hit with searing agony, my vision blurring permanently. Heaven to hell in a heartbeat. When I regained focus, I released my grip. Lily lay gasping on the floor, her innocent face smeared with grime. I laughed aloud. Cry. Scream. Take that face and tell the world I bullied you. Go on. My voice sharpened. Memories of my melted features in the previous life fueled 2 brutal kicks to her face before I walked away. At the school building, my desk mate Susan waited. Gym class started ages ago. What were you doing upstairs? I shrugged. Just bullying the new kid. She whirled around. What? Lu Sun said. When the world brands you a bully, you'd better become one. Did he actually say that? Doesn't matter. We reached the playground and collided with John. Though not in my class, everyone knew he was Lucy's childhood sweetheart. His gaze drifted past me. Running late. Lucy? Heard your class got a transfer student? In our past life, every time Lily slandered me, he'd force me to apologize, seeming supportive while cementing my guilt. Without warning, I slapped him. Susan gaped. John's expression remained neutral, though his eyes chilled. He nuzzled my cheek affectionately. Bad day, sweetheart? Only later had I learned the truth, abandoned at an amusement park as a child. John had briefly lived in an orphanage. There, a radiant girl shared her bed and gave him candy, his sole light in darkness. That light was Lily. He'd recognized her on her first school day. He believed every accusation she made against me. loathing me yet clinging to our engagement, his ticket to securing power in the Peter family as an illegitimate heir. At this thought, I spoke up, let's break up. His pupils abruptly contracted. Why? Give me a reason. Lucy. I pulled out a tissue, deliberately wiping my cheek where he'd touched me. I don't want to date the son of a mistress. It's disgusting. Is that reason enough? After leaving, Susan cautiously asked if I'd been possessed. I wasn't surprised by her question, because back in high school, I'd been so openly and passionately in love with John, waiting for him after school every day, burning my hands baking cookies just to deliver them to him with a smile. My devotion had been obvious to the whole world. But things were different now. The Lucy from early senior year was dead. What stood here now was the reborn, upgraded Lucy. Lily didn't show up all day. I knew her greatest pride was her looks. She wouldn't make a move until she could exploit that advantage fully. I waited patiently. Soon it was Saturday, my 18th birthday. My parents had promised a grand banquet to celebrate my coming of age. But last-minute business matters delayed their arrival. The crystal chandeliers glittered brilliantly as I descended the spiral staircase in my designer evening gown. From afar, I spotted my brother Victor in his tailored suit, his expression icy as he called, Lucy. Come here. I approached, pretending not to notice John's intense gaze or Lily's tearful look behind him. Smiling sweetly, I asked, what is it? Brother? Did you prepare a gift for me? Victor studied me coldly before declaring, bullying classmates, insulting friends, Lucy. Is this how the Wilson family raised you? He made no effort to lower his voice. Every guest turned to stare. What are you talking about? Brother? I don't understand. I tilted my head at Lily. Who did I insult? When did I bully anyone? I don't even know her. Denying it won't help now. Mistakes require consequences. Victor pulled a discipline ruler from the antique shelf. Since our parents aren't here, I'll handle this. Kneel. Whispers erupted through the ballroom. Bullying? The Wilson heiress would do that? Spoiled rich girls always envy others' talents. At least her brother's fair-minded. Under Lily's triumphant glare, I straightened my spine and smiled. What nonsense are you spouting? Brother? You sound less like Victor and more like some relic from the Qing dynasty. I only kneel to the dead or ancestors. I cocked my head, raking him with an insolent look. Tell you what, go jump off a building right now. I'll kneel and kowtow 3 times to send you off properly. Victor's face darkened thunderously. I can't answer this question. You can try to provide other questions. And I will do my best to help you. Surprised. Victor? I discovered your secret dealings with her so early. Rubbing my reddened eyes. My voice trembling, I don't blame her about the birthday party. I'll just skip mine. What hurts is, why won't you believe me? It's not like Lily's the only one who can play the innocent victim. Through my tearful account, Father put his foot down, enough. Regardless of who started it, neither of you will make more trouble. Public scandal benefits no one. This ends here. Back at school, I openly bullied Lily, poured ink in her desk, mocked her accented English recitations, ripped her physics exam papers, scattering shreds over her head. Go ahead. I sneered. Isn't tattling your specialty? A paper fragment drifted from her hair. She stared at me with venomous hatred, yet still trembled and apologized. I'm sorry. Lucy. If I've upset you, I'll change. Your existence upsets me. I arched an eyebrow. How will you fix that? Die now? She gaped. Silent tears resuming. Being the villain felt exhilarating. When teachers summoned me, I sobbed through the birthday incident before producing a psychiatric report because of her lies. My brother humiliated me publicly. Nightmares haunt me. The doctor says I've severe depression now. The teacher ended up comforting me. Everyone saw my disdain for Lily. Susan frowned. Why target her? What did she do? I grinned. Can't I be the rich bitch bullying scholarship students? Bullshit. She rolled her eyes. If that's true, why'd you buy all my school supplies when we met? I'm poorer than her. Believing you'd bully classmates is like believing I'm Queen Elizabeth. I smiled bitterly. Even Susan understood. Yet Victor and the boy I loved never would. At the upcoming Centennial Gala, Lily had performed Piano Last Life, arranged by Victor and John, winning that exclusive admission slot. I'd prepared my decade-trained classical dance instead, until John found me at sunset. He hugged me, murmuring, "Lucy, I don't want so many people seeing how beautiful you look. I'll get jealous. Just dance for me alone. Okay?" Back then I was such an idiot. I actually felt smug, thinking this showed how much he cared about me. So on the day of the performance, I really didn't go. Instead, I danced for him over and over in the empty dance studio. As the music faded, thunderous cheers erupted from the distant auditorium. John suddenly laughed when he heard it. He'd always been gentle and quiet around me, even his smiles faint and mist-like. This was the first time I'd seen such obvious emotion from him. I stopped dancing and asked foolishly, "Are you happy?" He paused. "Yes." At the time, I thought he was happy because I danced for him alone. Only much later did I learn. His happiness came from Lily's wildly successful performance. The only light in his life now had a brilliant future. I submitted the dance program I'd prepared long ago. But this time, it wasn't a solo. I recruited every girl in class interested in performing to rehearse a group classical dance. I paid for their instructors myself, bought the most expensive costumes, commissioned the finest props. By comparison, Lily's simple white dress piano solo looked pitifully plain. Who knows what she cried to Victor about? That night as I walked home from school, he intercepted me in the garden. "Lucy." My brother stared at me expressionlessly. "Withdraw from the anniversary performance." I smiled. "Victor, why are you barking nonsense? Don't mistake this for a negotiation." A cold sneer flashed in Victor's eyes. "If you insist on performing, face the consequences." I stopped, staring into his glacial gaze. "Brother, has your precious Lily practiced piano for over a decade only to fear losing to me? What trash." Days before the performance, John found me. "Lucy, what happened last time was my fault. But you blocked all my contacts. Refused to see me. I don't understand what's happening. Do you hate me now? Or," his voice cracked with pain, "have you fallen for someone else? You promised you'd always love me most." Rage and anguish stabbed through me. I genuinely loved him for years. He said he hated me doing kissing scenes. So I turned down offers from famous directors. He claimed Lily grew up bullied in orphanages. Told me to tolerate her constant disrespect. I kept forgiving, believing sincerity begets sincerity. Instead, I got 10 years of their slander and hatred. Suddenly, I couldn't bother pretending anymore. I grabbed John's collar and slammed him against a tree. He gasped in pain. Before he could speak, I slapped him full force across the face. His pale face immediately flushed red. I leaned in close and enunciated each word. "I know you've known Lily for a long time. If you love her so much, why put on this lovesick act with me? Trying to string me along while pining for your first love? You're just like your home-wrecking mother, pathetic." The storm in his eyes intensified as I spoke. But he remained speechless. I snorted and released him, walking away without looking back. That night, I dreamed of my past life, a rare vision of events after my death. After plunging the cake knife into Lily's chest, I died in excruciating pain while she was rushed to the hospital. Outside the ER, John grabbed Victor's collar. "You promised to protect her." Victor shook him off coldly. "I'm letting you share her, aren't I?" Without my help. A bastard like you could never control the Wilson family. Don't push your luck. John staggered back. You helped me? It was actually dead. Victor cut him off with a sneer. My sister helped you. Remember? The same sister you arranged to have acid thrown on. Forgotten already? John stood silently as the ER lights pulsed. When they wheeled out Lily's pale, unconscious form, he finally spoke hoarsely, I remember. And I don't regret it. I woke gasping, stumbling to vomit in the bathroom. My reflection showed bloodshot eyes burning with hatred. No regrets? I whispered to the mirror. Don't worry. This lifetime, you'll regret being born. On the school gala day, I found Lily by the artificial lake. Her silver gown shimmered with understated wealth. Diamond necklace glittering, no doubt Victor's consolation prize. Think the Wilson name will protect you forever? I asked. All your bullying, did you really think I wouldn't retaliate? You'll pay 1,000-fold. She sneered. What if I expose your thing with John? He loves me. Even your brother only cares about me. Trash like you will never be loved. I smiled. How was the toilet water? Her face drained of color as I walked away. At sunset, my dance team hurried toward backstage in performance dresses. Halfway there, I realized my curtain call props were missing. Did I leave it in the dance studio? I tried to recall carefully before deciding to go back. Susan asked. Do you want me to come with you? No need. It's not heavy. I can carry it myself. I smiled, gesturing for them to go backstage for makeup. Help arrange our props order with the set designer first. The empty complex building echoed as I lifted my gilded skirt hem and strode up the stairs. But I froze halfway to the dance studio floor. John stood on the steps a few paces above me. The golden red twilight through the windows only illuminated half his face, leaving the rest in shadows. His eyes looked like dark whirlpools in the ocean. Lucy. He spoke low, his voice trembling like an impending thunderstorm. What are you doing here? None of your business. Get lost. I tried to push past him up the stairs. His hand clamped on my shoulder like iron. My mind went blank for one crucial second. Suddenly I was falling backward. Dozens of concrete steps stretched below. My back hit first. Then I tumbled violently down the staircase. Amid overwhelming pain, I crashed against the metal railing, my ankle making faint cracking sounds. John descended step by step, stopping beside me. Those same calm yet sorrowful eyes watched me as he said in icy detachment. Don't blame me, Lucy. You've had everything since birth. Even if you lose this opportunity, there are countless paths ahead. But Lily, she's done her absolute best within her limited means. Then he grabbed my swollen ankle. My mind flashed to that dream, him standing outside hospital doors with Victor, gazing with tender devotion at Lily being wheeled out of emergency care. His voice devoid of emotion when mentioning me. I've never regretted it. 15 years. My most passionate, sincere love, all wasted on this. I suddenly laughed through gritted teeth. As he tried to smash my leg against the railing, I jerked free. Pathetic. My twisted ankle screamed in protest. But I seized his hair before he could react and slammed his head against the railing. You piece of trash. Think you can hurt me again? His skull hit the metal bar with a resounding clang. Blood immediately gushed from his forehead. Dripping crimson trails down his face onto his shirt. Lucy. I released his hair, panting as I stood up. The throbbing pain in my ankle continued relentlessly. But it didn't matter anymore. I lowered my gaze to his pain-glazed eyes and slowly smiled. How touching. My dear Victor. Willing to sacrifice yourself just to trap me here. All to secure a future for your precious first love? Is this your warning to me? Did you two already agree to share her at this point? Utterly disgusting. Hiking up my skirt, I wiped the blood from his face until the pale fabric became mottled crimson. leaving him collapsed on the ground. I sprinted toward the auditorium as twilight deepened. The distant sound of piano music floated through the air. Lily was indeed playing that same Debussy's Clair de Lune from our past life. There she sat at the gleaming white piano, silver evening gown shimmering under the solitary spotlight. The surrounding stage lay in darkness, making her appear like the only spark ignited in the void. Just like that moment during my engagement party in our previous life, when she climbed over my ruined reputation with this same breathtaking facade of purity. I charged down the center aisle, shoving past security guards and a flustered MC. Vaulting onto the stage, I kicked Lily off the piano bench and slammed my fist against the keys. "Play? You dare play?" I snarled at her stunned expression. "After sending your lapdog to destroy me, you think you can sit here performing for Daddy's friends?" The special admissions officer Victor had invited, now watching from the front row, was precisely why I'd timed this disruption. In our past life, this man had offered Lily the sole special enrollment slot after her flawless performance. That became her first step toward glory, later culminating in her becoming the protégé of a musical legend through Victor's machinations. I remembered too well the humiliation when Victor later cornered me at our family estate. "Lucy, when will you stop?" He'd sneered after I'd merely crossed paths with Lily during music lessons. "Just because you'll never measure up to Lily, must you destroy everything she touches? Even her handwritten scores? You wretched creature." The present-day gasps from the audience crescendoed as someone screamed, "Blood! Look at all the blood on her dress. My stained skirt, disheveled hair, and swollen ankles served as visceral proof of my claims." Lily clutched the piano bench, her eyes flashing with venom before melting into wounded innocence. "Lucy, I don't know what misunderstanding this is, but this is my performance. Shouldn't we respect the audience?" "Lucy, have you lost your mind?" Victor's roar echoed from the front row. Ignoring him, I shoved Lily aside and seated myself at the piano. My fingers crashed into the opening chords of Beethoven's Symphony No. 5. In our past life, I'd practiced this piece relentlessly for a film role, determined to play without hand doubles. Now the furious notes became my weapon, each thunderous progression drowning out Lily's stolen spotlight. I spent 3 solid months learning this piece. I wouldn't call myself a master, but it's more than enough for this occasion. The impassioned piano notes mingled with faint static reverberated under the empty dome of the auditorium. When I finished playing Destiny, I turned to stare at Lily, enunciating every word clearly. "You ruined my birthday party, sabotaged my relationship with Victor, spread rumors about me to my family and friends. Those are trivial. I'll repay you in kind. But when you told John to push me down the stairs to break my legs, just to keep me off this stage," I paused, watching her face turn deathly pale before sneering. "Piano's your greatest pride, isn't it? Are you so insecure that you can't even compete against me fairly?" Chaos erupted both on and off stage. The teacher in charge of the anniversary gala eventually escorted Lily and me backstage while the hosts scrambled to salvage the event. Our scheduled group classical dance performance began immediately afterward. In the backstage hallway, I brushed past the performing girls. Susan rushed over with tearful eyes, clutching my hands. "You're hurt, aren't you? I should have gone with you." "I'm fine," I smiled, patting her head. "Go perform. After all those rehearsals, give yourself the perfect finale." The top prize for the anniversary performance carried a $10,000 reward. From the beginning, this dance wasn't for me. Watching them take the stage, I finally let go of that lingering concern. Then overwhelming pain and exhaustion dragged me into darkness. I woke up in the hospital. That night, Victor stormed into my room. "You're insane. Lucy, you've completely lost it." He wanted to methodically elevate his precious darling to stardom, like nurturing a flower to bloom, basking in self-satisfaction. "But brother," I tilted my head, "why would I let you have that pleasure? Your little Lily couldn't even finish her performance. The whole leg-breaking scheme got exposed too. She'll never get into her dream school now. Oh. And your accomplice John is still lying unconscious in the academic building. You might want to send him to the hospital when you've got time. I burst into laughter, the movement tugging at my bandaged ankle until my face contorted with pain. In Victor's widened pupils, I saw my reflection, utterly deranged. Maybe I've been crazy since the day I died in my past life. Victor's jaw twitched, fury flashing briefly before his usual cold indifference returned. What's the point? Even if Lily failed, you didn't get to dance either. Worse, the cameras captured every second of your meltdown. You can't fake a medical certificate to weasel out this time. The school's contacting our parents about your expulsion. Expulsion? I laughed harder. You think I care? Don't forget. Victor, I'm a Wilson. Just like you. As John said, if one path closes, I'll take another. My only goal was dragging Lily down from her pedestal. Every accusation she fabricated against me in our past life, I've made real. Every opportunity she seized before, I've destroyed. This isn't over. Lily. I'd publicly disrupted the anniversary gala, assaulted John and Lily, while videos of me bullying Lily circulated online, exactly as planned. The incident sparked significant public debate. The conflict between a wealthy heiress and a girl from humble beginnings carried sensational appeal, whether a decade ago or today. The difference this time was my clear articulation on stage, my disheveled appearance, and that outburst of raw fury which unexpectedly rallied public support. Maybe the rich girl isn't the bully here? Her piano performance didn't sound like a villain's. One comment read, LOL. Are you a paid troll? Since when can piano skills predict character? Another retorted. Regardless. Look at her swollen ankle and blood-stained clothes. What bully would end up this battered? Can we appreciate her unhinged energy though? She's mentally 8 software updates ahead of us. Susan and other dance team members fiercely defended me online. Lucy isn't what you're making her out to be. Lily started this. The cyber war raged as I recovered at hospital. When discharged, my father regarded me with glacial detachment. Since your school won't take you back, study abroad. Stay overseas until this blows over. His bias toward Victor over me remained unchanged, just like when he'd silently condoned my brother's schemes during my previous life's engagement fiasco. Fine. My lips curved bitterly. You wanted performing arts. I'll arrange. No. My interruption startled them. I'll study finance and business. Father's gaze sharpened with reassessment. My transfer processed swiftly. John remained hospitalized with worse injuries. Lily visited him, cooing, "This isn't your fault, she's just heartless." Susan brought snow-white lilies to my home, ranting, "Those psychos tried breaking your leg. Since when is self-preservation heartless? These must have cost your competition prize money. Everyone chipped in for your farewell gift." She thrust the bouquet at me, then hesitated. "Lucy, since Lily transferred, you've changed. Like you know things, just come back safe. Okay?" Her awkward hug avoided crushing the blooms. "We'll stay friends." On my last evening, Mother sat with me on the breezy balcony, anxiety lining her face. I clasped her hands. "Don't worry. In my past life, Mother's fatal car accident had removed my last protection against Victor. This time, things would be different." At this thought, my heart suddenly clenched. In my past life, Victor's obsession with Lily had driven him to madness by the end. Could there be more to my mother's sudden car accident than met the eye? My grip unconsciously tightened around her hand. "You must be careful and protect yourself at all costs." After a pause, I added, "And watch out for Victor. Lucy, you seem different somehow." My mother gazed at me with troubled eyes before sighing. "I failed you. You used to trust everyone so easily. When I warned you about John being unreliable, You'd argue he's nothing like you say. When I tried securing company shares from your father for your birthday, you'd undermine me by chirping about preferring jewelry and dresses. It frustrated me to no end. Her voice softened. Back then, I wished you'd be wiser. Sharper. But if this change came at some terrible cost, I'd rather have my naive girl back. How could any mother not know her own child? In my previous life, I'd been the epitome of naivety, always seeing the best in people. Even after Lily's countless betrayals, I'd never struck back. Until I died at my own engagement party. Not this time, Mom. I pressed fingertips to my stinging eyelids, laughing bitterly. This world devours the innocent. Pity I had to die to learn that lesson. The year I boarded that international flight, I turned 18. Everything around me felt alien yet exhilarating. Foreknowledge of coming events pulsed through my veins, fuzzy on details but crystal clear on pivotal moments. The most critical would come in 2 years. In my 20th year last lifetime, Victor had flown to San Francisco to strike a deal with Henry, securing cutting-edge technology that would cement the Wilson family's dominance over 5 years. I multiplied my mother's seed money through stock market plays guided by residual memories. Between accelerated degree programs, I invested in fledgling companies destined for Fortune 500 glory. Susan kept weekly contact, first updating me on dance team gossip, then gleefully recounting how Lily failed her elite university interview. The admissions officer had been at our gala. Said Lily's Moonlight Sonata sounded muddy compared to your tempestuous Appassionata. Her laughter crackled through the phone. You should have seen Lily sobbing in John's arms at the rejection. When national exam results declared me top scorer, I grinned through dual degree finals. Susan's text blinked, still waiting for my study partner to come home. Mother's calls alternated between updates on Victor's maneuvers and maternal worries. You're still so young. Don't push yourself too hard. Only when I mentioned needing background checks did her tone shift. Henry, I specified. And keep this from Victor, absolutely. I arrived in San Francisco a month earlier than Victor. Outside that school, I was about to ask for directions when I suddenly spotted a familiar face on the distant lawn, Henry, looking several years younger. Standing before him was a tall, slender girl with short hair and glasses. Her expression frosty. That's my research achievement. Who gave you permission to discuss commercial partnerships without my consent? Henry forced an ingratiating smile. What's yours or mine? Weren't we working on this together? The concept was mine. The experiments were conducted by me. You merely assisted temporarily, helping record some data. How does that entitle you to handle my work? The girl remained unyielding. His expression darkened at her words. Emily, don't push this too far. We're graduating soon, aren't I considering our future? What good does hoarding this do? Partnering with reliable companies maximizes benefits. I'll say this one last time, that is my work. Emily stared at him impassively. The patent's in my name. You don't even know the core technology. Development partnerships? Not while I'm breathing. Also, we're done. From this moment, we're strangers. She turned sharply. Henry stood motionless, watching her retreating figure until his eyes glaciated with something perilously close to murderous intent. Suddenly, everything clicked. In my previous life, I'd overheard Lily ask Victor how he'd secured someone like Henry. Poolside with his arm around her, Victor had smiled. He needed assistance. More importantly, yet in that former lifetime, Emily's existence had been erased. I arranged to meet Emily at a cafe far from campus. She sat across from me, cutting straight to the point. Miss Wilson, I know why you're here. My work isn't for sale. Why? After hesitation, she confessed, it's currently half finished. My coffee cup froze mid-air. I know business types care about commercial value. I don't. What matters is perfecting this breakthrough, what it could mean for human technological evolution. The work itself is everything. Studying her, I saw it, that incandescent glow illuminating her makeup-free face when speaking of her ideals. She was radiant. The kind of brilliance destined for scientific annals. Yet in another timeline, two men's greed had buried her in foreign soil, reduced to historical dust. Miss Wilson. If that's all, she began rising. I intercepted her arm. Miss Taylor. I'll fund your research completely. All resources needed. In return, when perfected, just assist me slightly. The achievement remains wholly yours, history will know it as yours. Acceptable? The day I returned home. First snow powdered the runway. Exiting the airport. My luggage wheels crunching. An advertisement board arrested my gaze, Lily's flawlessly made-up face staring back. While I built my company overseas to rival Victor's growing empire. He'd been busy too. After failing special admission and interviews, he'd still maneuvered Lily into film school. Now she glittered in entertainment headlines. Freshly debuted. She truly remained consistent. I smirked sarcastically and got into the car. Cutting through traffic dusted with thin snow. We drove straight to the corporate building. The bidding session 3 days later marked another critical juncture. Emily and I holed up at the office for 3 straight days, refining our proposal to perfection. When we effortlessly secured the contract at the public tender, I rose from my seat amidst the announcement and met Victor's stunned gaze from across the room. You, Lucy. I curved my lips. Long time no see, brother. He chased me down the corridor afterward, blocking my path with lingering disbelief. Wilson Enterprises is yours? After Emily disappeared. You hit her. Didn't you? How impatient you are. Victor. I burst into laughter. Hidden by me? You've never even met her. Why obsess over finding a living person? Planning something illegal? I left him seething as I walked away. Laughter echoing. My high-profile return involved aggressive networking after securing the contract. Mingling with prominent business figures. Holding exclusive rights to Emily's patents and having snatched a major project from the Wilson family earned me exaggerated courtesy, a stark contrast to the hollow respect I'd received as a 3-time Oscar winner in my past life. People truly respect those who control the means of production. I mused, swirling my wine glass. Susan beside me scrutinized my face. You left for 4 years but returned with a decade's worth of maturity. Natural progression. I shrugged. At 18 I could afford youthful recklessness. Now graduated. I've learned to mask my fangs with civility before striking. Raising my auction paddle. I called. 2 million. Lily whipped around from the front row. John beside her also turned. Our eyes locking momentarily. His faint forehead scar caught my attention, sparking dark amusement. 2.6 million. Regaining composure. He immediately countered. I knew this diamond bracelet was his gift for Lily's upcoming birthday. Despite clawing for influence in the Peter family business, he remained far from Victor's dominance in the Wilson empire. Competing for favor demanded extravagant gestures. We volleyed bids until he secured the bracelet for 6 million. How touching, I remarked. John clutched the jewelry case, hesitating before murmuring, Lucy, stop. You're making me nauseous. I stepped back theatrically, scanning him with contempt. Credit where do you outdid your homewrecker mother by actually marrying into wealth? Do you and Victor share custody? Odd days for you. Even days for him. Sundays together? My voice carried clearly across the gala hall. As soon as the auction ended, business associates came asking questions. I feigned embarrassment. My brother Victor and John from the Peter family fell for the same rising star. Honestly, which prominent family doesn't have its share of hopeless romantics? When it's true love, you tolerate anything. The gossip mill churned about their love triangle. Meanwhile, I strategically invested in the entertainment industry, snatching key roles from Lily that had propelled her previous fame. Victor couldn't stand seeing his delicate flower mistreated. He struck first, exactly what I'd been waiting for. No attack. No exposed weaknesses. Suddenly my name trended with my company, #Lucy Wilson founder bullying, #Lucy Wilson slander campaign, #Lily Adams victim. That edited video from our school anniversary resurfaced, conveniently cropping out my Fate Symphony piano performance afterward. They even produced witnesses like the former classmate on camera claiming Lucy always bullied Lily. She tore Lily's papers, poured ink in her desk, turned the whole class against her. Lily endured everything because the Wilsons were untouchable. When it blew up, the school expelled Lucy, but she just waltzed off to study abroad and rebranded as some hotshot entrepreneur. Our stock plummeted for days. Partners demanded explanations. Be patient. I smiled, twirling my pen during crisis calls. We're all business people here. You know better than to act without absolute certainty. Lily proved less disciplined than I anticipated. Seizing my temporary vulnerability, she appeared on a live stream recounting past humiliations. I'll never forget when the teacher made me read aloud. Coming from a rural school where we learned textbook English, I didn't realize my pronunciation was wrong until everyone laughed. For that anniversary show, I'd practiced the piano piece for months. Her voice broke with artfully timed tears. Viewership hit 5 million. Comments flooded in, "You're perfect, baby girl. How dare privileged brats mock hardworking people." One skeptic noted, "Wait, rural elementary school kid becomes piano prodigy? Sketchy." I chuckled at the buried logic, watching it drown in outrage. The next morning, my father summoned me. "Merge your company with Wilson Enterprises immediately. For years abroad and you still embarrass us? Public apology now. Or consider yourself disinherited." "Dad," I said calmly, "this is Victor's girlfriend stirring trouble. Not my company's fault. You started it." He slammed the table. "Defy me again, and you're no daughter of mine." I smiled sweetly. "Biologically speaking, you never were. Mom carried and birthed me." Within days, the Wilson and Peter families allied against me, poaching major contracts. My father publicly disowned his vicious offspring. Through it all, I kept smiling. Let them think they're winning. Every overplayed hand reveals its cards eventually. In the company parking lot, I was nearly splashed with acid by Lily's extremist fan. She and my father had secretly conspired to use my mental breakdown during high school and the diagnosis report to have me committed to a psychiatric hospital. Across lifetimes, they only know these dirty tricks. Well, my counterattack begins now. Brother. Just as I seemed to be losing ground, Lily happened to win her first Best Actress award around her birthday. Victor threw her an extravagant victory party with lavish decorations, inviting numerous fans and setting up a live stream. Lily wore a white cocktail dress as she sweetly thanked her supporters. The next segment was supposed to play fan tribute videos. The huge screen behind her flickered to life with grainy, covertly filmed footage from a film studio's dressing room. Another actress was fixing her makeup at the vanity when Lily suddenly shoved her. Grabbing the woman's hand, Lily slapped herself across the face with it. "How dare you steal roles from me?" Lily laughed at the stunned actress. "Make me play second fiddle? Do you know who my boyfriend is? Victor, CEO of the Wilson family conglomerate. When he sees this mark, you'd better prepare your apology. No. Wait, better plan how to survive after your bullying video goes viral and you get blacklisted." The final shot showed Lily staring meaningfully at the actress's cleavage. "No!" Lily screamed, futilely throwing herself at the screen. The venue erupted as #Lily's boyfriend Victor and #Lily's birthday live began trending explosively. Susan sat beside me, furiously typing, "Lily, does the whole world bully you everywhere you go?" Her comment shot to the top with likes. She literally grabbed someone's hand to hit herself. That cheek swelling was real dedication. Should rename herself T. Lily. Wasn't the original lead actress someone else before the sex tape scandal? Another comment read. So this is how she gets roles, framing people and spreading rumors? Amid the chaos, another viral video emerged, shaky campus footage showing international students mocking a Chinese girl's accent. A skinny blonde guy jeered in exaggerated proper English, "This is how you speak. Joker." The camera shook as I grabbed his collar and punched him. "What's so funny?" I snarled in flawless English. "You laugh like this at funerals too?" When he challenged me to fight, I knocked him down again, nudging his chin with my shoe. "This is Chinese martial arts. Hillbilly." The uploader wrote, "I was almost burned alive at birth like firewood." Unlike MS. Adams with her village piano and generous sponsors. It took me 30 years to escape my mountain town. On my first day of studying abroad, they laughed at my accent. I won't let decent people be slandered. The comment section exploded. Did she really fake those bullying stories? Looks like she's the actual bully. That poor actress she framed. T. Lily strikes again. Am I seeing this right? Is this Lucy? The one Lily accused of bullying her and mocking her English pronunciation? Finally, someone said it. What village kid studies piano for over a decade? The timeline doesn't even add up. Yet so many bought her story. Holy shit. She's so badass. Financial sponsor? Wasn't Lily's sponsor Victor? Lucy's own brother? Who's to say he wasn't framing his own sister to secure the inheritance? Next came the video from my 18th birthday. Surveillance footage showing Lily jumping off the rooftop herself to frame another orphanage girl for pushing her. All to secure that sponsorship. Evidence of Victor's attempted murder contracts, not just against Emily, but countless shady deals he made with my father to expand their business empire. I owe most of these discoveries to my mom. The last piece was John. He psychologically tortured his biological mother for 7 years until she killed herself in front of his father. Traded her life for admission into the Peter family. I spent fortunes connecting clues from past and present. Systematically leaking every damning piece online. Thanks to their earlier media circus, the public was already invested. When criminal allegations surfaced, the wildfire spread instantly. Netizens flooded police hotlines before they could even attempt damage control. Those who play with fire get burned. How's that for an ending? When the police took my father and Victor away, my mom served divorce papers. Victor screamed, "Aren't I your son too? Why favor Lucy?" Mom sighed, sipping her black tea. "Your father favored you." I'm balancing the scales. The joint Wilson-Peter projects they stole from me imploded one after another, adding economic crimes to their charges. I absorbed the weakened Wilson enterprise into Longines Group. Then met with Cecilia Peter, the heiress to the Peter fortune, John's half-sister through their father's affair. "I used to hate your mother," she confessed over coffee. Then I realized, if my father hadn't cheated, John wouldn't exist. Dying by her son's hand, poetic justice. We'd struck a deal a year earlier. I'd help purge John from their company if she supported my domestic expansion. Half those trending hashtags? Her team's handiwork. "How did you suspect his mother's suicide?" she asked. I smiled without answering. Because in my past life, he did the same to me. Before sentencing, I visited old acquaintances. First, my brother. His glare could melt steel. "Don't look at me like that," I said. "You're wondering how the exiled party girl outsmarted you? Being homeless teaches survival. While you thought I was clubbing abroad, I was dissecting every dirty secret from our previous lives. The darkest nights found me cross-referencing financial records with class schedules, tracing shell companies between lectures. Their cruelty wasn't new. Monsters don't reform. Every exposed crime proved they'd done worse elsewhere. I was right. Victor. Dad always said I wasn't like his daughter. He raised you to be a domineering tyrant who'd stop at nothing to achieve your goals. Laws be damned, lucky for me. I take after him instead. The second person I visited was Lily. Disheveled and hollow-eyed, she glared through the glass with hatred sharp enough to devour me whole. Gone was her delicate flower act. If you had evidence all along, she shrieked. Why wait until now? What's the point of playing weak? I leaned back. Why did you pretend for so long? Then, rising from my chair, I smiled. Letting you think you'd won made it sweeter. I could have ended this months ago. But where's the fun in that? Let her taste victory. Let her clutch every prize. Then watch it all burn to ashes on the dawn she thought would crown her triumph. I'd lived through that night once before. Now it was her turn. John was my final visit. I hadn't planned to see him. Lily had always been my enemy. Victor, my blood. But John? When my love for him died, so did every thread binding us. The police said he'd requested this meeting. We sat divided by thick glass. He studied me in silence until I stood impatiently. What do you want? This wasn't how it should be. His voice scraped raw. The Wilson legacy should have been mine. We were supposed to get engaged. I froze mid-turn. He stared unblinking, shadows swirling in his dark eyes. The faint scar on his temple made my breath catch for one dizzying second. I saw the John who'd watched me die. Laughter burst from me. Engaged? Why stop there? Tell the whole story. You used me to seize the Wilson's empire, then helped Victor murder me. But oh, I pressed closer, palms flat against the barrier. You regretted it. Too late. I wish his throat worked. I wish you knew how much. Know this. I hissed. I don't care. I won. You're rotting where you belong. Enjoy hell, John. Winter came early that year. Across town, Susan was already hogging the best booth at our usual hot pot joint, texting demands for me to hurry up and pay. Emily's farewell call had come yesterday, off to lead some cutting-edge research abroad after the holidays. I'd wished her smooth travels, though part of me hoped her flight would hit turbulence. Moonlight silvered the car window as I drove past skeletal trees. Dawn would bleach the zinc black sky soon enough. Let it come. I'd earned every sunrise. My sun will shine again.